Hey everybody, before we get into this awesome video, I wanted to announce a giveaway that I'm doing. I am giving away a Wild Game Innovations 360 cellular camera. I used the camera last year and I decided that it is so awesome that I want to give it away to one of you guys. So all you got to do to enter the drawing is subscribe if you're not subscribed already, like the video, share with at least one friend, but the goal is to share it with as many people as possible and then comment done. I'm not going to give away the camera until I've reached 500 subscribers. I think we're sitting at around 280 right now. So let's get as many people subscribed to Kickin Feet Outdoors as possible. And as soon as we reach that 500 mark, I will draw and then announce the winner. So like I said, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, like the video, share with a friend, comment done in the comment section, and that is it. Very simple, and I'm looking forward to giving away this awesome cellular camera to one of you lovely people. Now let's get into this awesome video.
But ask the animals, and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky, and they will tell you, or speak to the earth, and it will teach you, or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every creature and the breath of all mankind. Job 12:7-10.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Kickin Feet Outdoors, and even further than that, Kickin Kitchen. Very excited to be back here today. Today we are going to be making venison pastrami. A while back I noticed that I had quite a few deer roasts there and left over in the freezer, and I really like pastrami, so I wanted to make pastrami and was having a hard time finding a good recipe, so I reached out to my good buddy John Wallace, who is the founder of Wild Game Cook. I'll tag his channel in the description below, so if you get the chance, go check his channel out. It's really, really awesome. But I reached out to him and asked if he had any recommendations on any venison pastrami recipes. And he proceeded to send me this Goose Pastrami recipe by Hank Shaw. So we are going to be using Hank Shaw's Goose Pastrami recipe today, and we're just going to substitute venison instead of goose, of course. So with that being said, I have two roasts, each cut in half and already trimmed. I trimmed those a little bit ago and got those all ready to go because for the first 24 to 72 hours, they have to rest covered in the fridge. So I've got four little Tupperware containers here that they're each going to go into, and we'll get a little further into that. I already went ahead and prepped all my spices and seasonings for the day. So bear with me as I kind of read through this and walk you through what we have. So first up is kosher salt, and in there I have 3 tablespoons of kosher salt. You want about a tablespoon of kosher salt per pound of meat, and I have about roughly 3 pounds of venison here. Next up, I have a half teaspoon of crushed juniper. It's not actually crushed, I just grinded it through my coffee grinder, and that worked out really well. And next up here, I have 2 teaspoons of sugar, and right here we've got 6 grams of Instacure. And then here we have got half a teaspoon of celery seed. And then here we have got 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, and then 2 teaspoons of ground black pepper. And then last but not least, we have half a teaspoon of caraway seed. So pretty much what we're going to do is I'm going to dump all those spices and seasonings into this bowl. I'm going to mix everything by hand, and then I'm going to spread everything out on the plate. I'm going to take each hunk of meat here and massage it down in those seasonings, and then we're going to toss it in these Tupperware containers and get it in the fridge, and then we'll kind of be on to the next thing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Our kosher salt, our juniper, we've got our sugar, our Instacure. Make sure you get all of that out of there because it's expensive. Our dried thyme. How much, you may ask? It might be an hour, it might be 2. I'm just kidding. And then our celery seed, our ground black pepper, and again, last but not least, our caraway seed. And we're just going to go ahead and give that all a real good mix. So now I'm just going to dump this on the plate, and I'm going to try to get it all evenly distributed across the plate because I want to be able to lay these 4 pieces of meat down at the same time and get everything evenly coated. We'll try to mix this up a little bit more too as we go. Now we're just going to go ahead and take our meat, and like I said, I'm going to lay each piece down. I want everything to be evenly coated, and to be honest, there doesn't seem like there's a whole lot here, so we're going to try to be really careful here. And I'm just going to press this down in there and give it a flip, and then we're going to try to get all the edges. Beautiful. Pretty. Sweet. We're getting somewhere. And then I'm just going to take that, dip it around, get all those edges, and that looks pretty good. And that is our first one. Second one, same thing. Get it all rolled around. Get some of those pockets. Again, that looks pretty good. Beautiful. And on to our last one here. Leave no seasonings behind. You paid for it, you use it. Otherwise, it's just a waste, and you might as well be flushing money down the toilet. We're all hard workers around here, so use every bit you got. Awesome. Alrighty, so now for our last step for the day, we're just going to go ahead and get these covered. They're going to go in the fridge, and they're going to rest for 24 to 72 hours. I haven't really made up my mind exactly how long I'm going to go yet, so I will touch base with you guys when it's time for the next step. But yep, right now, just going to pop these things into the fridge. Stay tuned. Alrighty, everybody, now that our pastrami has rested covered for 72 hours, I'm going to go ahead and pop these tops. And we are going to give this a rinse. Try to get as much seasonings off as possible, but if some stick, no big deal. And then we're going to pat them dry. So I've got a cookie sheet here with a rack, and I'm just going to set them on the paper towels here, and then get some more paper towels, pat them dry, and then I'll take these paper towels away, and then these will go in the fridge uncovered for 24 more hours. So we'll go ahead and get all these rinsed off. Just like that. Then we're just going to go ahead and pat these all dry. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and remove the paper towel. And now we are ready to go ahead and add these back to the fridge, again, uncovered for 24 hours. All right, everybody, now that it has been 24 hours of resting in the fridge, completely uncovered, it is time to go ahead and cook our venison pastrami. So I am going to be cooking mine in the oven. We've already got it preheated at 225 degrees, and I just prefer to cook it in the oven because it's more controlled. I don't have to go check my smoker 27 different times. My smoker just doesn't regulate its temperature, so this would be a really good time. Go to the comment section, pick out your favorite smoker brand on YouTube, comment them, add them in the comments, let them know I need a new smoker. So anyways, here on the plate I have a mix of our ground pepper and our coriander. So here was the ground coriander I went with, and it was 2 tablespoons of coriander, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, and then also in Hank Shaw's recipe, he calls for a ½ cup of brandy or vinegar. I've decided to go with vinegar, so I've got a ½ cup of vinegar here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take each cut of meat here. I'm going to lightly dip it on all sides into the vinegar. Then I'm going to come over here, lightly dip it in our coriander and pepper mixture, toss it back on the baking sheet here, and then we're going to get that in the oven. Should take about 4 hours or so. Hopefully it's done before I go to bed tonight. Anyways, let's just go ahead and get after it. So like I said, we're just going to lightly dip it. I don't want this to be completely saturated, just enough. I think it's just more to help the seasoning stick. And then we're going to very lightly press it here. I want my seasonings to last through all 4 pieces. If I have to go back and add more, I will. We're just going to try to get everything coated here. I think that looks pretty good. And the plan is I want to get this meat to an internal temp of 150. I believe Hank Shaw's recipe calls for 140 for the goose, but because this is venison, I want to go a little bit higher. So we're going to go to 150 on this venison pastrami. And then once I pull it out, I'm going to let it rest here on the stovetop for about 15-20 minutes, give or take. And then I am going to cover it, let it rest in the fridge for another 24 hours before I slice it. That just buys me some time until I get home from work tomorrow, and we'll be back tomorrow getting everything sliced and diced and wrapped up pretty like a beautiful little Christmas present. So should all go pretty well. All right, everybody, now it's been 24 hours, rested in the fridge, covered. It is time for the final reveal, and then I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff sliced So excited. I really hope it slices well. It looks amazing. There's not like a whole lot of, excess moisture that, oozed out of there or nothing. So that's awesome. Should be nice and tender on the inside. Should have held all that flavor. Yeah, I don't know. It looks awesome. Smells awesome. We're just going to go ahead and start slicing this. All right, everybody, as you can see, the pastrami is all sliced up. That deli slicer worked amazing. And I've tasted it once. Tastes absolutely delicious. I'll taste it in front of you guys again. As you can see, those 2 roasts broken down in half each has made us about 4 bags of our sliced pastrami. So I cannot wait to put this on some fresh sourdough bread, get some sliced Swiss, and maybe some horseradish sauce, and just go to town on an awesome pastrami sandwich. But anyways, I'll go ahead and give it a bite in front of you guys. It is absolutely amazing, and I love the fact that I used the oven to cook it. It just regulated the temperature so much better. No fussing, no fighting, and it only took a couple hours last night, and it was done. So. That tastes better than the pastrami you buy at the store. It is awesome. Hands down delicious. I'm so glad I made it and tried it. It's delicious. Again, I can't wait to make a sandwich. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching another episode of Kickin Feet Outdoors, another episode of Kickin Kitchen. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, like the video, share with some friends. Until next time, stick with it.